All right, everyone. Hi, hello. Let's just connect here with you. Yay, so happy to have you all here. Happy to see you. Welcome to our full moon. Welcome to our full moon. It's going to be so fabulous. So much is happening. So much is happening. I'm so excited. Let me just get myself clipped on and equipped. Where is everything? We are ready. We're so ready. All right. So, welcome to the full moon healing meditation here live with me, live streaming from Bali. And yes, the borders are open. The borders are finally open in Bali. We cannot wait to receive all our wonderful friends, our teams, and everyone that has been missing coming here. We're finally happy to receive you. Very happy. And today is all about reigniting self-love. And these themes are really important because the universe has often a much better understanding of what is globally going on, much more so than what we do, so much more than what the news channels can tell you. Because Mother Earth feels, she knows, she understands, and she observes. She records, she takes in, and she keeps record. She keeps record of what's going on, she keeps record of the algorithms, she keeps record of everything. Call it the law of the universe, call it the law of nature, call it Gaia. But there's a consciousness in our planet that never sleeps. There's a consciousness that's always taking in everything that's happening. The good, the bad, the ugly, the comfortable, the uncomfortable, the discomfort, the great things, the victories, the celebrations. And at the end of the day, everything is brought into balance. At the end of the day, everything is created in a place of space to hold something for the greater good. Because that's why the universe exists. It's all about functioning and working towards evolution. It's working towards, greatness, towards liberation, freedom. And it's also working towards a place in a space where the world is trying to find its inner equilibrium, right? With and without our sense of chaos, destruction, cooperation, regardless, the world's always trying to create its sense of balance. Imagine being a parent. Maybe some of you are here, some of you are not. And you have kids that's going rampant, they're playing, they're screaming, they're doing their thing, they don't know any better. And there's a part of you that's just being tolerant of that. There's a part of you that just keeps moving forward. There's a part of you that just still finds your inner sense of centeredness. And you continue to just move in your path, in your direction. And see Mother Nature as a little bit like that. See the planet as a bit like that. Here we are, we're going rampant, we're doing our things, we're going bananas, we're destroying the world, we're hurting the world, sometimes we're doing great things for the world. And the earth is just like a parent. It's just like, okay, now you did that, now we're going to see the consequences of that. Oh, you did that, great, well done, well let's see the beautiful consequences of that. That's basically what we're doing. That's the space that we're in. And Mother Earth, or the planet, the vibes, astrology, the stars, the moon, all these concepts, all these frequencies that is aligned with each other, is aligned in a way to continue to bring balance. So sometimes when things do go wrong, when things do get challenging, what we see as a problem, because we look at it from the perspective of a human ego, we look at it from the perspective of a human nature that has our own, competitive needs. We want to be better than someone else. We want our security, we want our money, we want our safety, we want our protection. So we see it from a very filtered perspective. Whereas if you look at it from a global whole view, there's much less of an unfiltered perspective taking place. But what it does is it does have this tendency to look at where is there a drastic imbalance, where is there absolute destruction, where it's actually causing the balance of what it's trying to create to become out of alignment. And the collective consciousness for humans are the same. And the world, the earth, the planet, the stars, everything is working as a team. It's like, it takes teamwork to make a dream work. Believe it or not, it really does. As a business owner, let me tell you that. It's not a path that you're going to walk on your own single-handedly and do it. You will always need someone who to give you some kind of service or to do something for you or with you to help you to bring things together. And when we look at the collective consciousness, when we look at the planets, when we look at the earth, the vibes, the collective frequencies, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. And certain components need to work, because if they don't, we have a problem. We have a really, really, really big problem. And so today, what the planets and the full moon is showing us and telling us, what is coming out of alignment is self-love. It is self-appreciation. It is self-acknowledgement and self-compassion. Because if we have these elements healed, if we have these elements in alignment with us, wow. Can you imagine what our lives would look like? Can you imagine what our manifestations would look like? Can you imagine in what positive shape this world would be in? I think that's pretty obvious. Now, what if I told you, what if the planets, the vibes, the stars orchestrated everything to come beautifully into an alignment to push these pain points of self-destruction, lack of self-love, lack of self-compassion into a corner to say, hey, look at what you're doing to yourself and look at the ripple effect that that's having on me, meaning our world, our universe. Because at the end of the day, that is exactly how this universe operates. It cannot do what it wants to and what it needs to do without your conscious contribution. We've been sleepwalking for many, many years, but we're snapping out of it like that, quickly, very quickly. And what else? The world is trying to tell us we're not fast enough. We're not fast enough. It needs to happen faster. And that is why on new moon, full moon, and different cycles of the moon as well, it has certain topics that it just brings up in us, because it's like, hey, look at this that's going on in you collectively. Humans, hi, can you deal with this? Because if you do, look at this beautiful ripple effect that is going to have on me as the universe holding this beautiful place and space for you. You allow me, then meaning the universe, to do my job more effectively. That is why people always say, but it doesn't matter what I do, I can never contribute, I can never help. What can I do to make a change in the world? Well, hello. You being you, first of all, is enough. You working on yourself, adjusting yourself, aligning yourself to the greater good, that is enough. That's absolutely enough. Every step that you take, every decision that you make is collectively contributing to the greater whole. Everything that you do is being recorded in the archive of the universe. The universe is always listening. It's always observing. It's always taking in what's going on around it. That is why we have these records that we can tap into at any given time. These are the records that's being held by the universe. It's records that of every single person that has had a phenomenally tremendous experience on this planet. And the purpose today of what the full moon wants to do is to look at self-love, is to look at reigniting self-care and self-love. Because if you love yourself, if you care about yourself, if you have compassion for yourself, how do you think that's going to reflect in the world? I only see positive outcomes. I only see positive outcomes that this world and this universe will so deeply and so greatly benefit from. And so, of course, the universe is deliberately setting things up in ways and shapes and forms to bring things up in us as a collective whole. To shake us up a little bit and say, hey, we need to cooperate a little bit better. Work on this. Let's shift that. And so, as you know by now, today is all about self-love. Reigniting self-love. Not the easiest topic to tackle, right? I mean, if it was really that easy, I mean, the world would have been in an absolute fantastic state by now. We wouldn't have wars, we would have peace, we would have, every country would be best friends, we'd all be Zooming together, and probably not even have the pandemic. But that's a whole different topic on its own. So what I would love to look and talk to you about is, let's look a little bit about this topic of self-love. Because at the end of the day, what I really truly strongly believe in is that we treat ourselves the way that we were treated in the past. Our past dynamics, that becomes our dynamic with us. Because the way that you communicate to other people, the way that you interact, the way that you ask for your needs to be met, the way that you express and communicate your opinion, all of this information, verbal or non-verbal, is a form and a way to connect. It's a form and a way to exchange, and it's a form and a way to relate. And as we're moving in these different ways and paradigms of connecting, relating, what we do is we come from a very raw and vulnerable place and space, and that is our true, authentic sense of self. Everything that you say and that you do, your actions that you take, comes from a place of awareness. It comes from a place of connectedness. It comes from a place of focus. Because ultimately, you can only be as great as you are, depending on how focused and in how clear your intention is based on what you're doing. If you're off here doing something, your full focus and awareness is not going to be on what it is that you're trying to do. Which means that your full heart is not in that. Your full awareness is not in what you're doing. And the universe is now coming to a place in a space where it's asking us and it's saying, well, let's reevaluate that a little bit. Let's see where is our focus. Let's see where is our connection. Let's see where is our energy flowing. Right? Because your energy flows, your emotions flow where your focus is. Because that's how we direct the RAS, the reticular activating system. It can only flow and go where your most dominant focus and emotional state is at. That's how the biological body is wired. If you think that you can control and manipulate that and have a constant out-of-body experience, well, good luck. You have to be high all the time to have that constant altered state, which is not healthy either, because that's also not connected to reality. That means if you're always in that state, you're failing your life purpose in the here and now. Because the whole point of having this life experience is to be fully present. And that is to find our altered states in the present moment. And to not disconnect and not to disassociate in other ways and forms. Think about it. I'm not saying that's how it is, but it's an interesting topic. It brings up interesting forms of debates, as I would say. And one of our biggest challenges when we look at having to be in a state where we can receive, being in a state where we can communicate, being in a state where we can, what is it that you would call it? In a state where we can receive even ourselves. Wow, that's huge. That is groundbreaking, isn't it? How great is that? Or at least how great would that be? And imagine what your life would be like. Imagine what your relationship with yourself would be like if you didn't have people, interfering with their opinions and their nonsense and drama and opinionated, traumatized perspectives that they're trying to project onto you for their voice to become your voice and all these things. Of course, most cases subconsciously. No, people don't normally deliberately do that, unless you're a narcissist, unless you're an abuser. But not everyone consciously wakes up every morning and decides that's what they're going to be. At the end of the day, all our behaviors is coming from a place of survival. It's coming from a place of trying to cope, compete, survive, and thrive. Now, what your association is with thriving, that's also a whole different topic for another day. Because that also will determine where, what, and how your values are based on life. Whether you value people, yourself, wherever it is that your values are, that's what's going to determine the kind of person that you become. And sometimes our values can be so misaligned that we make other people so much more important in our lives, much more so important than ourselves, meaning they supersede us, they supersede our needs, they supersede what it is that we want to try to create in our life. It just started raining. How great is that? Rain means transformation, and I actually have a beautiful grass roof here in Bali. I don't have like your traditional tile roof. I actually have grass. I don't know if you can hear it. And it's so nice. But anyway, for me, that's such a beautiful sign of transformation. That is a beautiful sign of clean slate, new chapter, cleansing, letting go of the old, releasing, detoxing. And as I'm saying that, the rain is getting harder. I absolutely love it. This is wonderful. So what I would love to look at with you today is the concept of self-love. And that means to emotionally, physically, and psychologically detox ourselves from other people's opinions, their values, their beliefs, because at the end of the day, here's what happens. In that moment where you are trying to find your sense of self, your opinion, your truth, whether that's through the form of creating, talking, communicating, needing to bond, needing to connect, that need, how that need is met, becomes a fundamental foundation of what you feel that you are worth. So when you're trying to ask or receive love from someone that doesn't have the emotional, psychological capacity to give that to you, what do you think is going to happen? Their feedback becomes your truth. Their feedback becomes what you think you are worthy of. That becomes your barometer of how you value and level your self-worth and your importance. Well, oh damn. Now we have a problem. Imagine now, here you are, and you all the thing that you want is just love, because the amount of love that we give ourselves is the amount of love that we had in the past. That becomes our reference point. We didn't have a higher reference point, so how else do you know? Well, you can say movies and books, well, that's great. That's the intellectual perspective and interpretation of that. It's not a heartfelt, centered, emotional reaction and feeling of that. Big difference. And when we look at this concept now, what we're looking at is someone else's inability, their inability to meet you emotionally where you are at. Their inability becomes now your way of measuring how much you can have in life, how worthy you are in life. How sad is that? And I say it's sad because I actually found myself doing the exact same thing. The exact same thing. You see, when we want love, we try to provoke reactions from people to get the validation, to get the feedback that we want and need. But sometimes we're now asking for feedback from people that don't have the capacity to give it to us in the healthy way that we need it. Now what? That means another broken individual's truth becomes your truth. That becomes your level, your barometer in terms of percentage of what you think you're worthy of. That's a lot of power to give someone. And we do that completely subconsciously. Of course, we don't do that consciously. But that's a lot of power. Tremendous amount. And what this full moon is here to show us and to tell us, it's time to call your power back. It's time to call your power back from how you think, or at least what you think you are worthy of, and to reignite your sense of self-love, to let go of other people's patterns and behaviors and reactions towards you. Whatever part and aspect of that became your truth, it's time to shift that. It's time to be done with that. Because at the end of the day, if I had to ask you, does it serve you? What would the answer be? What would the answer be? How are people's reaction to you in your past, how is that serving you and contributing to your definition of self-love? Meaning, how much they loved you, meaning how they reacted to your need for love. How has that contributed? I would love to know and hear your feedback. And so, having said that, what I would love to do with you right now is a very powerful healing session. Let's ignite our self-love. So what I'm going to do now is here with you, I'm going to get my music out, my meditation music, with us right in the background. So happy, perfect. And for any of you that's here with me, let's start our healing meditation. With this beautiful rain now here, if you can hear it, and I hope that you can. Making me so happy right now. Can you tell? I invite you now to take a nice deep breath. And just being there with your sense of self, just being with how you're feeling right now. Maybe you had some stress from the day. Maybe you had stress over the weekend. Wherever it is that you're finding yourself right now, I invite you to be okay with it. Just let it be. Let it be. Fully bringing your awareness and your focus into the present moment, into the here and now. Because that is where you are at your most powerful. It's not in yesterday, it's not in tomorrow. It is here, right now. And as you're moving into this place and space of being in the present moment, I invite you to hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful ball of light. A light that's flowing from your head, down, down, down your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your stomach, your legs, out your face, into the earth. Just feeling how the beautiful light is just flowing through every single cell in your body, releasing all stress and tension, emotionally, physically, and psychologically, just allowing it just to drain out of your body, just down, 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 into the earth. Releasing. Also just feeling how your body is just becoming more relaxed, more open and expanding. And hearing also this beautiful rain with me here in the background, if you can hear it. This beautiful tropical rain from Bali. Pouring down with so much power, so much healing and transformation that's within that. And just imagining that there's also this beautiful rain that's just flowing through your body, just cleansing you and just rinsing out all that old stress that just no longer serves you. Releasing. As you do, I invite you to take a nice deep breath with me. And as you do, I invite you now to hear, feel, see, or sense a copy of you coming in, standing now in front of you. And I invite you now to observe him or her. Just observe. How does it make you feel when you observe this part of you standing in front of you? What do you feel? And what is also going through your mind right now? And as you are observing that, observe also where in your body do you perhaps feel discomfort or stress. Maybe where you have negative emotions coming up or negative associations. Just feeling how this beautiful rain is also just supporting us and holding that place and space with us for this full moon. Knowing and understanding also how the full moon can manipulate and control water and ocean tides. And we are 60-70% water, and now we also have all this beautiful rain just pouring over. Is drawing this energy of the full moon, drawing the energy of this beautiful tropical rain here in Bali, Indonesia. Just allowing a beautiful light to flow from your head, down your body, out your feet. And allowing this beautiful light to resolve and dissolve the emotional stress, all the negative stress that you're feeling when you're observing your sense of self right now. Releasing. allow the opinions and the judgments of others, of you, about you, and maybe they acted and reacted in ways towards you that was so out of alignment with what you needed at the time, but perhaps because of they didn't know any other better way to respond. They didn't have the capacity to meet you where it is that you were or are at that moment in time. Feeling how that old stress, that old inaccurate judgment of others projected onto you, allowing that beautiful light that's flowing through and over you and out of you to release all these old inaccurate judgments right now. Resolving and dissolving all that old stress. Also now, just breathing here with me, we're going to go into what's called the Alpha Brainwave state. If you're feeling some sadness, some emotions coming up, perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. You are very held, you are very supported in this right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in the mouth and out the nose. And that is to just release. We're going to reset the nervous system biologically. We're going to reset our frequencies and our alignments to allow this beautiful healing to integrate in its highest and best way right now. And when you're ready, let's breathe in the mouth, out the nose. We'll do this 13 times. Breathe in the mouth, out the nose. 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 Pick up the pace. In the mouth, out the nose. In the mouth, out the nose. In the mouth, out the nose. In the mouth, and hold. Hold it for as long as you can. Allowing yourself just to drop into that dizziness. Drop into that place and space of silence. Knowing that you are exactly where you need to be in your life right now. And together with me, we're going to be affirming positive affirmations together. I call my power back from people who made me question my relationship with myself. I call my power back from people who made me doubt my self-worth. I call my power back from people who challenge my self-respect. I reclaim my self-love. I call love back into my life. I call self-compassion back into my life. I call self-understanding back into my life. I release other people's views and opinions and judgments of me that was projected through their own traumatized perspective, which was never, ever a reflection of my self-worth. It was a reflection of their capacity and self-worth. And I invite you that you no longer have to accept these flawed judgments, perspectives, and projections. For you now to find your sense of self, to find your truth, your equilibrium, your balance, and your sense of identity and groundedness within all dynamics in your life, with ease and with grace. With ease and with grace. Knowing and understanding that self-love can be easy. It can flow through your life with ease and with grace. Not just because you're worthy of it, because it's part of the law of the universe. That love is needed to balance. It's needed to nurture, to love, to ground, to protect, to create. And for us to evolve. Evolving into a greater place and space where we can heal, receive, and just be. Just be in a way that makes you feel safe, in control, and with discernment. And taking a nice deep breath with me. Opening up that beautiful heart center right now. Once again, that beautiful beam of light flowing from your head, down your body, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, out your feet, into the earth. grounding you back into the core of the Earth center. That is where our energy needs to flow. You were birthed and born into the planet Earth's frequency. This is home. This is where you are meant to be right now. Regardless of your past lives or where you think you are from, this is where you need to be in the here and now. Embracing this place of power and space and resonance, because it's in that place of resonance that you can create, where you are in alignment with other forces that's around you that can help you to create. In this beautiful frequency that we can turn around, that we can heal in the form of the frequency of love. But that starts with self-love. And that is what this full moon is here to show us today. To remind you of what you already know. And just allowing the beautiful light to flow from your head once again, back down, 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 down into the earth. Grounding you and balancing you. Just allowing that final tone to really just bring you back into the body, grounding you, feeling safe and fully control with where you are at in your life right now, because you are exactly where you need to be. If you were meant to be somewhere else in a different place and space, then you would have been there, and you're not. And that means you are exactly where you need to be. Taking a nice deep breath with me. To trust again in the concept of trust, to have faith in the concept of faith again. And that means it starts with you. It starts with your relationship with yourself. It starts with where you are at, where you want to be, where you need to be, and where you want to go in your life. And if you want that path to be easy, if you want that path to be graceful, it starts with self-love. Because the way that you treat yourself is the way that you treat your future. I'll repeat that. The way that you treat yourself is the way that you treat your future. And I'm going to leave you with that today for the full moon. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your energy, and thank you for your faith. And I'm so excited to connect with you next time. To see you on the new moon. To create something new here with me. And until then, be the light that you are. Thank you, everyone.